social connection appears to be a common habit in the cultures with highest number of centenarians, meaning people aged 100 or above. Indeed, social isolation and feeling of loneliness are both associated with an increased risk of premature death. So we are at the end social creatures. Our brains are wired to be with other human beings or to be part of something bigger than us, like a community. And this connection happens or grows with sharing. Sharing thoughts, sharing ideas, emotions, maybe over a meal or maybe while working on a project together. And therefore there's this thing called social prescribing, which is becoming more and more popular as an additional, not alternative, but as an additional practice to traditional medicine for prevention and intervention. So many health professionals around the world would be prescribing group activities like singing classes against stress or nature walks against burnout. So yeah, social ties are very important, and I know it myself from my own personal life. I now live in Berlin. I moved to that city around 15 years ago from Turkey, leaving my entire family and friends there. Of course, I met new friends. I met my husband. We built our little core family there. But there were, of course, times where I felt relatively isolated, like, for example, the first couple of years after having my daughter. And I remember the jump in my overall happiness and well-being as she started kindergarten. I mean, there are many reasons for that, but of course, going back to work, making new colleagues and connections, making amazing new friends thanks to this kindergarten and later school community. I just feel very, very grateful for these people around me, and I make sure to make time for them. I love making time for them. So in Berlin, this might mean maybe a quick coffee or lunch during the week, or maybe at the weekends we would come together as a family, eat together, cook together, maybe visit a gallery together. And for my family and friends outside of Berlin, this would mean regular calls, video calls, voice messages, which brings me to actually the last topic that I would like to briefly talk about, digital well-being. Digital well-being is a concept that became more and more popular, especially during and post-COVID pandemic, because then many people were forced to work from home, and in some cases the boundaries between personal life and professional life were blurred. People were getting maybe evening calls, work-related messages. They also maybe felt isolated because they lacked this in-person interaction with their colleagues. So some people, or many people, had fatigue, they had emotional exhaustion, they had this burnout feeling. And therefore, when we talk about digital well-being, the focus is usually given on the negative sides of technology. But digital well-being doesn't mean that avoiding technology or digital devices altogether, because they of course also bring lots of benefits in our lives. Digital well-being is about building healthy relationships with your digital devices. So, for example, in the case of social ties, they enable long-distance connections, long-distance relationships. I would be calling, for example, my parents almost every day. I would be sharing updates and gossips with my friends. So, yeah, so social ties are very important. You may have lots of ways to nurture your social connections, ideally in person, but if not in online. The key is to be mindful and make time for them.